Hi there, everyone. I'm going to give just a couple of minutes for some other people to join the webinar, and then we'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. Just a couple of more minutes for some people to join, and we'll get started. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar today, the AWS Toolkit. I'm just going to go over a quick agenda for the start of our session today, and then talk a little bit about Jellicose and who we are and why we're hosting this webinar today. So my name is Jess Anderson. I'm the marketing manager here with Jellicose, and we'll also be joined by Kurt Erickson, who's a Jellicose cloud engineer today. We're going to cover AWS Directory Services for the first service today, and then we're going to jump into Amazon Fsx and AWS Systems Manager. What we're going to offer today is just a very high-level overview of these services. This is by no means a deep dive session. We're taking just 45 minutes to cover these today, but what we hope is that you'll get just a high-level understanding of what these services are and what they might be able to offer to you, and then we'll be happy to provide more information after the session today. Next, a little bit about Jellicose. So Jellicose is an AWS advanced consulting partner. We've been an AWS partner now for about 4 years, and we were founded in 2000. We're headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska, but we also have locations in Kansas City and St. Louis, and hope to be expanding into some other markets in the next year or so. We've been honored by Inc. magazine as one of the fastest growing private companies in the United States. And as I mentioned, we are an Amazon Web Services consulting partner. We've invested very heavily in being an AWS partner. And so we've got 32 accreditations and 19 AWS certifications and 7 professional certifications within our company. Next, I'm going to turn things over to Kurt Erickson. As I mentioned, he's a cloud engineer with Jellicose, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Thanks, Jess. Yeah, hi, my name is Kurt Erickson. I'm a AWS Solutions Architect Associate and Cloud Engineer with Jellicose. I've been with Jellicose for just over 2 years, and I've been an IT systems admin and engineer for 20 years. So let's jump right in here to AWS Directory Services for Microsoft AD. What is AWS Directory Services for Microsoft Active Directory? Well, it's also known as Managed Microsoft AD. It enables your directory-aware workloads and AWS resources to use Managed Active Directory in the AWS cloud. It is built on AWS, on Microsoft AD technology, and does not require you to synchronize or replicate data from existing Active Directory to the cloud. You can use standard Active Directory administration tools, and you can take advantage of built-in Active Directory features such as group policy and single sign-on. Directory Services is built on AWS managed infrastructure, so it's highly available, and each directory is deployed across multiple AZs. There is a default of 2 domain controllers deployed in separate AZs, and more DCs can be added for even more increased availability. Data replication and automated daily snapshots are configured for you. There is no software to install, and AWS handles all the patching and software updates. It provides SSO and single directory for all of your cloud workloads. It allows you to federate access to the AWS console, and it's easy to deploy. Let's take a look at some use cases. Case 1, you can sign on to AWS applications and services with AD credentials, such as AWS Management Console, Amazon Workspaces, and RDS. You can use it to manage Amazon EC2 instances, either Windows or Linux. It provides directory services to your AD-aware workloads, such as Remote Desktop License Manager, .NET applications, SharePoint, and SQL Server. You can set up SSO to Office 365 and other cloud applications. You can extend your on-premise AD to the AWS cloud using a trust, and you can share your directory across AWS accounts and seamlessly join EC2 instances to your domain. So why are customers implementing it? If a user's AD connection is lost or goes down, you won't be able to access your applications. AWS is 7 times more reliable than Microsoft Azure. What does a minute of downtime cost in your organization? According to Gartner, the average company loses $5,400 for every minute of downtime. Managed Microsoft AD is created to be highly available, providing host monitoring and recovery, data replication, snapshots, and software updates, which are automatically configured and managed. You can control your access to EC2 Windows instances, on-premise workloads, and other public cloud providers. And you can provide single sign-on to Amazon Workspaces and customer-managed work devices. Taking a look at some of the additions that Directory Services offers, Standard Edition and Enterprise Edition. Both editions also support the creation of additional domain controllers to improve the redundancy and performance of your managed directory. And with AWS Directory Service, you pay only for the type and size of managed directory that you use. There's no upfront minimum fee, and you can delete your directory at any time. Here's a quick graphic on a couple of different types of deployment models. You can use it as a private directory, which would be having your organization's primary directory and having all of your users, devices, and computers in them to manage, or you can use it as a resource forest with a trust relationship to your on-premise Active Directory. Use that forest where users are managed in your on-premise directory, and the resource forest contains all of your AWS resources. So to summarize how this works, you can create a managed directory quickly in a couple of steps, or you can use through the AWS console, or you can use APIs. You can deploy and migrate your apps to existing AD-aware workloads to the cloud. You can quickly integrate with directory-aware AWS services like EC2, RDS, SQL Server, workspaces, and use single sign-on. You can create users, groups, and roles to manage access to your directory-aware workloads and services. And you can connect and use your applications and AWS services with existing or new AD credentials. So moving on to Amazon FSx. What is Amazon FSx for Windows File Server? Well, it's a fully managed file storage built on Windows Server. It provides fully managed native Windows file systems and is deeply integrated with AWS. It provides the features that your Microsoft applications rely on, including full support for SMB protocol, NTFS, and Active Directory integration. It is optimized for enterprise applications in the cloud and with native Windows compatibility. It has enterprise performance features, and it has consistent sub-millisecond latencies. FSx is simply file server storage in the AWS cloud. It's run on native Windows compatibility, fast and flexible performance. It is enterprise ready, provides a broad range of accessibility, and it is fully managed by AWS. Let's dive into a little bit of these a bit more. So it works with what you're used to using, such as NTFS, native SMB 2.0 to 3.1.1. It integrates with Microsoft AD and supports Windows ACLs. And you can use it as DFS namespaces and DFS replication. It's fast and flexible. It is built on SSD disk, has high throughput and high IOPS. You can choose the throughput independent of storage, and it has consistent sub-millisecond latencies. It is enterprise ready. It's highly available and durable, continually monitors and addresses hardware failures. Data is replicated within at least 2 availability zones. Backups are taken and stored in Amazon S3. And it supports multi-AZ deployments, including DFS namespaces and DFS replication. It's also secure and compliant. Data is encrypted at rest and in transit. It integrates with AD and supports Windows ACLs. Control network traffic using VPC security groups. It offers admin API access control using AWS IAM, or otherwise known as Identity and Access Management. You can monitor and log API calls using AWS CloudTrail. And it is PCI DSS plus ISO compliant and HIPAA eligible. FSX is broadly accessible. You can access it through EC2 server instances or Linux, through the VMware Cloud on AWS, Workspaces, AppStream 2.0, Microsoft Windows 2008 and higher, and Windows 7 even and higher, and Linux through Samba Client. Again, it's using SMB version 2.0 to 3.1.1. FSX is fully managed. It provisions, sets up, and manages file servers and storage volume. It keeps Windows software updated, and it automatically takes and manages your backups. FSX supports a wide spectrum of use cases, such as home directories, line of business applications, web serving and content management, software development environments, media workflows, and analytics. So what problems does it solve? It eliminates the administrative overhead of setting up and provisioning file servers and storage volumes, keeping Windows software up to date, and it detects and addresses hardware failures and performs routine backups. It removes the need for capacity planning and optimizes. You pay only for the resources that you use. No, there's no upfront costs or licensing fees, which reduces IT overhead. Here are some reasons why some customers are using FSX and implementing it. FSX has more than one function, which helps you optimize TCO. You can lift and shift application workloads. Many applications and workloads, such as ERP, CRM, and custom-built .NET applications, traditionally require expensive on-premise Windows file server. You can use it for home directories. Many organizations have home directories and team shares. Think of this as your C drive for hundreds of users. Usually it's your H drive. You can use it for Microsoft SQL. Customers can now easily run SQL HA or high availability on AWS using SQL failover clustering, FCI, with 2 new features on FSX: native support for multi-availability zones, and also supports SMB continuously for CA file shares. These 2 features enable you to simplify your SQL FCI deployments to host your databases without cost and complexity of third-party solutions. All of this is simple and cost-effective with SQL standard licensing. So in general, here's how FSX works. In minutes, you can set up a native file system integrated with Active Directory. You can set up as many Windows file shares as you need on your file system and establish access permissions. You can access your file shares from application servers and end-user compute instances. You can use FSX to share file data across application servers and end users. Okay, moving on to Systems Manager. So AWS Systems Manager, what is it? It's an AWS service that allows you to view and control your infrastructure on AWS and on-prem resources. Using the System Manager console, you can view operational data from multiple AWS services and automate operational tasks across your AWS resources. Systems Manager helps you maintain security and compliance by scanning your managed instances and reporting on or taking corrective action on anything that's violating policy. The piece of System Manager that I'm focused on today is Patch Manager. Systems Patch Manager provides a platform to patch baselines across all operating systems, which reduces labor to maintain your company's security update requirement. So Systems Manager, Patch Manager, what is it? Patch Manager automates the process of patching managed instances with both security related and other types of updates. You can use Patch Manager to apply patches for both operating systems and applications. You can use Patch Manager to install service packs on Windows instances and perform minor version upgrades on Linux instances. You can patch fleets of EC2 instances or your on-premise servers and virtual machines by operating system type. This includes supported versions of Windows Server, Amazon Linux, CentOS OS, Debian, Oracle, Linux, Red Hat Enterprise, SUSE Linux, and Ubuntu Server. Patch Manager uses baselines, which include rules for auto-approving patches within days of their release, as well as a list of approved and rejected patches. You can install patches on a regular basis by scheduling patching to run as Systems Manager maintenance Windows task. You can also install patches individually or to large groups of instances by using EC2 tags. Tagging are keys that you can add to resources to help identify and source them within your organization. You can add tags to your patch baseline themselves when you create or update them. Patch Manager provides options for you to scan your instances and report compliance on a schedule. You can install available patches on a schedule, and you can patch or scan instances on demand whenever you need to. Patch Manager integrates with AWS Identity and Access Management, otherwise known as IAM, AWS CloudTrail, Amazon EventBridge, and it provides secure patching experience that includes event notifications and the ability to audit usage. So, why implement Systems Manager? It's a serverless tool that reduces the efforts of your IT staff and ensures your patch baselines across all server operating systems, both on-premise and in the public cloud. Patch Manager also reduces your reliance and cost on expensive Microsoft System Center licensing and is locked into managing Microsoft. Systems Manager provides a unified user interface so you can view operational data from your environments while simplifying resource and application management, shortening the time to detect and resolve operational problems, and making it easier to operate and manage your infrastructure securely at scale. So to summarize how it works, it helps you safely manage and operate your resources at scale. You can group resources across different AWS services like application or OS type. It gives you dashboards and one common place to view aggregated data by resource groups. And you can take action by responding to the insights it provides and automate operational actions across your resource groups. So thank you for joining us for our Toolkit webinar today, and I hope you learned a little bit more about these three services: AWS Active Directory, Directory Services for Active Directory. Usually we call it Directory Services, and then there's FSX, and we also have Systems Manager, all useful tools within AWS. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. We will send out a copy of this presentation deck via email following the webinar today. If you have any questions, we'll have a reply email address listed. So if you'd like to send a message to Kurt, we'll be happy to get back to you with any more information about these services. And it looks like we're giving you a few minutes back in your day. So everyone enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for joining.